Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Ashley. Today we'll be doing a tutorial on how to make this simple bead bag. It's very simple, very spacious. As you can see, I packed a bunch of things in it and it totally fit. My book, my tab, my phone, my pets, and then a few makeup things, and they all entered perfectly fine. A lot of space in it, and it's very easy to make. And then all the things you're going to need to make them are things you can find in your local bead store or craft store. So with that much being said to it, let's get into it. So you're going to need sugar beads. Today we're using sugar beads. Sugar beads is what it's called here, but I don't know what it's called at your end. You can let me know in the comment section what it's called at your end. So I'm using two colors, and then today's thread I'm using a 0.6. And then we're going to need a chain, a blade or a cutter, and then a pair of scissors. So mostly when you're going to make a bag or tissue box, you need a thread from 0.6 and above, because that's really strong and very hard. The higher the higher the size of it, the firmer your work is going to be. So if it's 0.7, it's going to be very firm, but I couldn't get 0.7, so I'm doing make do with 0.6. But yeah, if you find 0.7, please do. So we're using the same method of a 4 bead flower method. Most of the tutorials I've made so far are made with this process, a 4 bead flower process. So we start with 4 bead this way. Please, if this is the first time you're trying to work with sugar beads, find something heavy and put on it. This is not heavy, it's going to shift soon. Find something heavy and then put on it to hold it down. Working with sugar beads is fun, but it's complicated because they have a lot of angles. They're always twisting. And then the thread itself we're using is a complicated thread because it's hard. It's not easy to control. So you need to pull very hard for it to be stable for a bit. But if there's nothing on it, the moment you let go, it becomes loose. So if this is the first time you're working with that, I would advise you find something very heavy to put on it to hold it in place for you. And remember, you have to pull very hard. If not, your work is going to be loose, and if it's loose, it's not nice. And if you're not someone who can pull it at the end when you are done like me, and then you are not pulling it along as you're going, your work is going to be in between. It's going to be in between. So we're going to continue with this process like we did in all my tutorials, but this one will be switching in between colors. So I'm going to do 6 of the blue, then I'll add 4 of the red, then 6 of the blue. So in total it's going to be 16. Okay, so 6 blue, then 4 red, making it 10, and then 6 more blue. So this is 5. I'm going to add 1 more blue to make it 6. So that's it for the blue for now. Then 5, 6. So we'll start with the red again. So four chains. Should I call it chain flowers? I don't know. What should we call it? So I used to call it chain. So 4 chains of the red one. So this is one chain. Okay, this is 1 chain of the red one. So you're going to need 4 of that, adding up to the already 6 blue we'll get 5. And then when the 4 chain of red ends, we'll continue with another 6 blue, making it 16. Now the 16 is going to be the width of the bag. Okay, when I say width, yeah, width, either the down or the top part of the bag. The 16, that's going to be it. So this is 3. We'll add 1 more and then we'll go back to our blue. Tangling up thread. So you pull very hard as you go along the way and try straightening it, because sugar beads have so many edges. They fold the moment you leave it, they fold into their own shapes. So if you don't know how the 4 bead flower is made, you start with 4 beads and one side of the thread, and then you pick the 4th one and put both threads in opposite side. Okay, and then you just continue with 3, so 1 at both sides and then crisscross with 1. So now we've gotten to our 15th part. Now we'll need our thread to turn back, so we'll start working on the height. So instead of putting 1 at each side, we'll put 2 on 1. I don't know if what I'm trying to say makes sense. We'll put 2 beads on 1 and then use 1 to crisscross them. That way our thread turns to the is it vertical or horizontal position? So yeah, the position that it's in right now, our thread turns that way. When you put 2 and 1 and then use 1 to crisscross, it turns it that way. So now see there. So you're going to use the inside, this is the outside thread and this is the inside thread. So the inside thread goes to the next bead up this way. Good. And then the outside bead, the outside thread is now going to be taking the bead. Now we're only using 2, right? We'll use only 2 instead of 3. So 1 inside the outside thread, this one, and then we'll use 1 to crisscross like this. See? So hold outside thread down, use inside thread to enter the next bead. So you just continue the same process. When you get to red, switch to red. When you get to blue, switch to blue. This way. Now let me show you what I meant when I said 2 and 1. So this is the inside thread, right? When you get to the ending part, instead of the outside thread taking the bead, no, you put the bead in the inside thread. This one. So we'll put 2 in it, and then we'll use the one to crisscross both to turn our thread up this way. See? So we'll still need it to go back down. So we're going to put 2 in the outside thread this way, and then we'll use 1 to crisscross. So when we do that, it automatically turns our thread again. So our thread is now facing down way. We'll work the same process all the way down again. Same process all the way up. Same process all the way down. So we're going to do that until we get to the 11th one. Right now, this is the 3rd one we're working on. This is the 3rd line we're working on, right? So we'll do that till we get to the 11th one. So this is my 11th one. I went ahead and did that off camera. 10, 11. So okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the width is 16 and then the length at 11. So now we're going to fold one side of one side at the length, one line at the length side for both. So you fold here. Because it's sugar beads, you just need to push it a bit and it's folded. So you fold this way and then that way too. So we're going to work on the down part of the bag. So you just pick any side of the width to be your downside, and then the other remaining part becomes the top open part of the bag. Okay. So same process, work through. The inside bead goes to the next bead up, and then the outside bead takes one bead, and then we use one bead to crisscross. So you're going to continue doing that till you get to the end of the width. So use one and then you use and crisscross this way, and then you pull. Remember, you have to pull it very hard because the sugar beads, they have a lot of edges and they are slippery too. And then the thread we're using is a hard thread too, so it's not stable. So you have to pull very hard. That way. So go ahead and do that until you get to the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. Oh, when I meant end, I meant the end of the width, not the whole thing around, just the end of the width, the line we are working on. When you get to the end of that particular line, you stop there. So you continue, yeah, so here, and then we'll stop. So this is what it's going to look like. You see it's already curved. So this is the sideways of the bag. So we'll start from one sideways of the bag. It doesn't matter which one you start from, just start from the sideways. And then we're going to continue the same process, 2 beads in the outside thread and then 1 bead to crisscross. Like that. And then the inside thread goes to the next bead up, and then we'll continue with 2 beads. So 1 in the outside thread and then 1 to crisscross, 1 in the outside thread, 1 to crisscross. So we're going to do it from one side all the way around to the other side. Like I said, this is the height of the bag where we're working. That's the sideways of the bag. So we're going to work through that sideways. Let's say that's the left side of the bag, all the way down and then all the way up to the right side of the bag. This way. See, now we have 2 lines on both sides and then at the end 2. Now you're going to need 2 of this. So I went ahead and did mine off camera. You can do it exactly the same way, or you can just do 1 color. I went ahead and did 1 color because that's what my customer wanted. But you can do both colors like you did the first one. So you now we do this too, and then we're going to join them like this to make our bag. So to join them, put them this way, and then cut your thread long enough. If you cut it too long, it might tangle up and worry you, but I'm lazy anyway, so I cut it too long. So you put one part of the thread in the other side, and then put a bead, and then the other part of the thread in the next side. So you get something like this, and then you pick one bead and you crisscross. So this one goes here, and then this one goes here. Then you pull. When you pull, it joins them like this. So we're going to continue. This one goes to the next bead up, and then the other side also goes to the next bead up, and then we'll pick one bead and then use it and crisscross. So at this point, we're only going to be using one bead, one bead, one bead. So one bead and then use it to crisscross like that. So this one goes to the next bead up, the other one goes to the next bead up, and then you use one bead and crisscross, joining them together. So we're going to do that all the way around the bag to join the whole bag together completely. So from one side all the way around to the other side. This way. See, it's joined together nicely. So we're going to do it like that all the way till we get here. So this is it. This is how it looks like when you're done. We basically have our bag. We just need something to cover it now. So to do that, we're going to pick one side of the open top to work on. Since the back is supposed to be blue, I had to choose the blue side. But if you are working same colors on both sides, it doesn't matter where you pick. One point is going to be the front, and then the other is going to be the back. So as usual, you put two beads in the outer thread, and then one bead to crisscross, and then you get that is too long. Okay, so remember to cut the thread to your comfort. Okay, if it's too long, it will worry you. It's going to be tangling up, especially with this size is 0.6, 0.7. It's like that. And if it's too short, meaning you have to be joining them, and they are not easy to tie because they are big and too strong. So this way, we're now going to work all the way through to the end of that line. So one bead in the outer thread, and then one bead to crisscross both threads. Okay, and remember, pull very hard to make sure it's very firm and secure. So do that and get there. Let's continue. Okay, so when you get there, you continue all the way back to now. The first one was the only one who do a complete color throughout. Okay, but if your color, you didn't do blue at the back, and then you did both colors at the front and back, then that means even the first line you have to do it like a foundation chain. So like 5 red, 5 blue, and then 4 red, 5 blue, right? I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense. So this way. So from here we're going to make 5 blue, 4 red, 5 blue. But the only reason why at the beginning we were making 6 red was because we were going to curve it. Okay, we're going to fold one at each end, so we're making it 6 6 instead of 5 5. But now we're not going to fold the ends, so we're making 5 blue and then 4 reds. Still doesn't make sense. Oh, sorry. Talking is hard. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so this is how we're going to fold it. Okay, so we're going to work all the way like that. So when you get to the 5th blue one, you stop and then you continue with red, and then you do 4 of them, 4 of the red, and then continue with blue again. Okay, so this should be my 5th blue, and then after that I'm going to continue with red. That's why. So now I'm going to continue with red, 5. So 4, I'm going to go all the way 4 red, and then I'll go back to my blue, and then I'll do another 5 blue. I'll curve the thread back up, do another 5 blue, come do another 4 red, another 5 blue. I'm going to continue doing that. Okay, I'm going to continue on that line, that process, going back and forth with the same colors until I get to the 10th line. Okay, sorry, until I get to the 10th line. So you're going to go all the way to the end, and then all the way back with the same colors to the end, all the way back to the end, just back and forth like that until you get to the 10th line. So this is the second line we're working on right now. This is the second line we're working on right now. So we're going to need 8 more of those. So there's 3 red. So this should be the last red. 4. So now we'll go back to our blue. Okay, 4. We'll go back to our blue. And work it to the end. So go back and forth like that until you get to there. Bingo. So this is my 10th one. This is where we started, so count that one among to the 10th one. This. Now you hold that part where we started down and then curve the next one on top. So from it you just curve and then break it up like this. Like I said, sugar beads has a lot of edges and corners, so when you're breaking it, it's very easy and fun. I actually like the sound it makes when I break it. So you just break it up like that, and then your top part of the bag is also complete. So now all we left with is the handle. To make the handle, we'll count from the red ones that we made. So the 3rd bead from the red one, that's the 3rd blue bead from the red one, that's where we'll start with our handle. But if you've made all one color, and then there is no red one to show you where to count from. Count from the back. Okay, count from the top, the edge of the bag. So the third, how do I say it, the third flower, the last bead on the third flower, that's where you start your joining. So you put your thread through it, and then you put one bead in each thread, and then put one to crisscross. So you're just going to continue that process like that. Like at the beginning, we're doing one bead in this side of the thread, one bead in this side of the thread, and then we'll use another bead to crisscross. So we're going to do that until we get to the the third bead after the red one. So basically that's like the seventh bead in between them. So one here, you crisscross. When you get to the seventh bead, you don't need one to crisscross. You just put one here, and then you use the middle bead of that seventh bead, this one. You put one side of the thread in it, and then you put the other side of the thread in the same bead like this, and then you pull. Okay, so that bead becomes your crisscrossing bead. See what I meant? So if you're not used to it, pulling it this way to make it firm is going to be hard for you. So this is what we get. So we're going to pass our thread back through the chain we just made and came like that, so that it becomes very firm. Okay, we'll pass it through a couple of beads, just a couple of beads, not all the way back, just a couple of beads. Then we can make a knot, and then we'll tie and hide the knots in between beads, just so it makes it firm. And don't forget to always pull it very hard. And when I said don't forget, please don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what I can do to make it better. Leave a like. Give me a thumbs up. If you like the video. Even if you don't, let me know in the comment section and let me know what's wrong and then what I can do to make it better. And then if there's a particular tutorial you want me to do, let me know. I'll let you know if I can do it, and I will do it for you, I promise. So here we'll make our knot, and then we'll hide our knot in between beads. Pass it through the next couple of beads, and then we'll cut off the excess thread, and then we'll go and make our chain handle. So this is the top handle there, and then this is practically the only reason why you need a blade or a cutter, just so you can cut off excess thread. So you see this side, there are 5, so you count 2 to the other side, 2 to the other side. The one remaining in the middle, you count from that one down. The third one, that's what we're going to use to make our chain handle. Okay, so from that side, the side of the bead, there are 5. Okay, there are 5 lines. So 2 to one side, 2 to the other side, the one left in the middle. On that line, count 3 beads down and join your thread to the third bead this way, and then you start making a chain on it. So 1 bead to the other side of the thread, 1 bead to the other side of the thread, and then 1 to crisscross. This. So you're going to make a chain of 3. And on the 4th one, you don't need 1 to crisscross. Okay, you pass your chain in it and then tie. So this is the third one, right? So 1 2 3, Now the fourth one bead to the other side, and then another bead to the other side. Now we're not picking another bead to crisscross. No, we'll just put our chain in. Sorry, we'll put our chain, one end of our chain, sorry, there, and then we'll tie. Make sure you tie it very hard, a couple of knots. Make a couple of knots, about 2, 3, 4, as much as you need. And then you hide the knots. You pass the thread in between beads. Pull very hard to hide the knots in between the beads. And then go up a little up and then cut off your excess thread. Now this chain, we're supposed to divide it into 2 equal parts. Okay, I didn't, but I'll do that now. You're supposed to divide it into 2 equal parts and work with it. So one end for this one. So this is where you cut off your excess thread after hiding your knot in between beads, so, of course. So we'll cut off the excess thread that way, and then we'll divide the chain into 2 and go ahead and do the same thing for the other side of the bag. So that's it. Go ahead and do the same thing for the other side of the bag, this way. So now we're done for both sides of the bag there. So now have to work in the middle of the chain. So you're going to pick your thread, cut it as long as you can handle, and then you put it in between your chain, one side of the chain. Any other side is fine. Just start working with one. So now instead of 4 chains, you're going to need only 3. 1 to this side, 1 to this side, and 1 to crisscross, because your chain is already acting as one bead. This way. So we're going to continue doing that. At this part, we're making a chain of 10. So we're going to continue doing that till we get to the 9th one. So 1 to this side, 1 to this side, and 1 to crisscross, like that. Until we get to the 9th one. Remember to pull it very hard. Sorry, I didn't. So this is the 9th one, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, okay, I have to pull it. So you put one bead to one side, another bead to another side, and instead of putting 1 to crisscross, you put the chaining for the other side in and then tie. So 1 1. So see, because I pulled it to divide it, this side is open, so I'll use a plier to close it up like this, and then I'll put it there and then tie. Remember, tie it a couple of times, make a couple of knots, pull it very hard, make sure it's very hard, and then you pass the thread in between beads to hide the knots that you made, and then you can cut off your excess thread. So that's basically it, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again. Even though still my videos aren't the best, I hope you at least get the idea of what it is and how it's done, so you can be able to do it. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and then leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you. Really, I appreciate it. So this is just you just pass your thread through a couple of beads, and then you cut off your excess thread. Make sure it's really pulled and it's hard. It's very important. I feel like I haven't stressed that enough. You need to really pull your thread to make sure it's hard, because sugar beads are slippery and they have a lot of edges too. and the thread we're using in particular, it's also very hard. So yeah, thank you for saying through, and we're done for this particular tutorial. So let me know what you want me to do next. I promise I'll find ways to bring it to you. So this is our cute chain beaded bag.